It was a warm summer day. We were all sitting in the backyard around a long table. Everyone was smiling. It looked like a normal gathering, but it wasn't. I didn't buy a car that day. My friend did. My other friend went into debt. And me? I did nothing. Turns out that nothing changed my entire life. Let me tell you a story. That day, I didn't buy a car. My friend did. Another one went into debt. And me? I did nothing. And years later, I realized something strange. That nothing changed my life. 15 years ago, we were standing on a street full of luxury car dealerships. John had just bought a new car, and John couldn't wait to show it to us. He was spinning the keys in his hand, like it wasn't just a car, like he was proving something. Tom was right next to him. He looked at the car, then looked again, and in that moment, he had already made his decision, even if he didn't realize it yet. Tom was impressed, and he wasn't trying to hide it. He kept asking questions. The price, how he got it, how much he would pay. But those weren't really the questions. The only thing on his mind was, "Can I do this too?" John answered everything, calm, confident, without hesitation, like it was nothing, like it was normal. And in that moment, something changed in Tom. If John could do it, he could do it too. The system was ready. The bank was ready. The answer was already there. All it needed was a signature. Then they both looked at me. They didn't say anything, but I knew exactly what they were thinking. "You're getting one too, right?" I looked at the car. Not just a glance. I really looked at it. The details, the shine, the interior. I liked it. I can't deny that. For a moment, I imagined myself inside it, driving, being seen, being noticed. And in that moment, I understood why they wanted it. It wasn't just a car. It was a feeling. But still, I did nothing. I just said, maybe one day. That day, everyone made a decision. John already had. Tom, even if he didn't realize it, was already on his way. The next day, he went to the bank, and he said yes. He bought a car, but what he really bought wasn't just a car. It was a payment plan. And then it was my turn, or maybe my lack of a decision. I did nothing. I just went home. That night, when I got home, everything was quiet. Olivia was in the kitchen, sitting at the table, bills in front of her, some stacked on top of each other, some set aside, like she couldn't decide which one mattered more. She looked tired, but it wasn't just from a long day. It was something deeper, something heavier. We sat there in silence for a while. Then I told her about the car, and then I said something I didn't expect. "I don't think we need a car." She looked at me. I was thinking about the future. She was thinking about today. And then she asked, "Are we going to be okay?" In that moment, I had no answer, because I didn't know either. A few days later, I met Warren at the park. We were sitting on a bench. It was quiet. People were having picnics. No one seemed in a hurry. I told him everything, but most of all, how I felt like I had done nothing. He listened, and then he said, "So you did nothing. You bought time. I didn't understand. So he explained, when people make more money, they buy bigger things. And they think they're getting richer. But in reality, they're just making their lives more expensive. Then he said something I never forgot. Rich people don't buy expensive things first. They buy assets. And those assets buy the expensive things later. I asked him what I should do. I was expecting something big, but instead, he just said, plant a tree and wait. Then life moved on. Years passed. Tom bought the car, but he also bought the debt. John made more money, but he bought a more expensive car and spent even more. And me? I just kept going. Slowly, quietly. From the outside, my progress looked boring, but it was working. And then, one day, I found myself back in that same backyard. Same table, same people, same smiles. But nothing was the same. John had his car, Tom had his, and me? I still had nothing to show. At least that's how it looked. But inside, everything had changed. Because all those years, I gave myself time. Instead of trying to have everything immediately, I chose to wait. And without even realizing it, I was building the most important thing. And over time, that time gave me freedom. Most people spend money to look rich or to feel like they are. But the ones who truly become rich invest for freedom. That's the only difference. Small decisions, long years, different lives. That day, we weren't just gathering. I was leaving my job because I didn't have to work anymore. Before I close this first episode, I want to say something to you directly. Money and how we approach it often shapes the direction of our lives. But the strange thing is, no one really teaches us this. It's not in schools. It's rarely talked about at home. And we try to figure it out on our own. That's what I did. I learned it late. But when I did, things started to change. Not all at once, but slowly. Through small decisions, small differences. The reason I'm telling this story is not to teach you something, just to show you what happened in my life and how it happened. And maybe you will start to notice the same things in your own life. If this story makes you pause for a moment, or even puts a small smile on your face, that's enough for me. Because this isn't just my story. This is the story of small decisions and the different lives they create over time. And there's one thing I can say, as human beings, the most valuable thing we all have is the same: time. If we can build the right relationship with money in our own lives, then we can start gaining more time and financial freedom. What else could it really mean? Time. I invite you to reach that most valuable thing a little earlier by walking this path with me. See you in the next episode. And that day, we were celebrating my freedom.